What's going on, guys? Alex here, and today we're taking a look at the new style freak barrel case put out by GOG, and just going to compare it to the old style freak carrying case. So this is the same carrying case if you buy the Boremaster kit in either aluminum inserts or stainless steel inserts. This is the case that it used to come with. This is the case that it will now come with. This is the new style one. Obviously, you probably saw it in any of the media from Paintball Extravaganza or anything like that, or if you came in here within the last week or so, obviously I have these in stock. So a couple big differences between the two cases. So one, this is the old style case is pretty durable. It's pretty hardy. You know, it's built of hard plastic with kind of like a rubber coating on the outside. You know, just to make sure it doesn't slide around all over the place, I guess. But it's fairly sizable. It's pretty big comparative to, I don't know. Here's DM14. And it's pretty much the same size as a DM14, obviously, maybe minus like the barrel tip or something like that. So it's fairly big, does take up quite a bit of room in the gear bag. And, but obviously it's not too big. The biggest thing, I think, the issue that these things had with these little plexi windows in the front came out a lot or shattered a lot. I know mine on every freak case I've ever owned, they always end up shattering for some reason. But you could hold a lot of stuff in here. So obviously, if you bought the case with all the inserts, or you have all of the inserts and then you bought the case afterwards, if you have every single freak insert, they all fit up here in little individual insert slots, except for one, and that one would always come down here where this this freak back is. And obviously, I have an insert in the freak back. So the nice thing with this case is that you could fit bigger barrels and you could kind of fit more of them comparative to the new one. It's not too big of a difference, but it is a difference. So with this barrel kit, obviously you see I have all 8 of the inserts, 6, 7, and 8 down here. All of these in here, as well as a full freak barrel, a 14-inch freak barrel, a back with a 14-inch tip already on it. And obviously I have a freak insert in here because that doesn't take up any extra room. I have an extra freak back down here, which is big enough to fit the A5 style freak back, the A5 threaded freak back, because the A5 threaded freak backs are slightly longer than autococker freak backs. So it is big enough to fit that. And then I have even a 16-inch tip up here. It is big enough to fit one of those. So you can fit 2 whole freak barrels in here. You can fit a whole 14-inch freak barrel and a 16-inch freak barrel in here, as well as all 8 of the inserts, which is really nice and handy. So you can have 2 totally different options as far as that goes. You know, if you want to, I don't know, if your back gets damaged or whatever, or you just have 2 different color backs and you swap guns and you want to match colors and stuff like that, you can bring basically 2 whole barrel kits with you in the old style freak case, which is really nice. So comparative to the new freak case, obviously if I just close this one up real quick, you'll see that the new freak case is a lot smaller comparative to the old one in pretty much every dimension if you kind of look at it. So with the old style freak case, let's go ahead and leave this one open so we can kind of relate between the two. Instead of just kind of a clamping latch, it is now zippered. So this kind of case is like the same hard molded case that basically, without the shiny finish, it's kind of the same thing that like the Exalt goggle and lens cases are made out of. It's really hard molded. It's really durable. Like you're not gonna damage anything that's inside this case. And then you have your nice little rubber freak logos and everything on the front. So if we unzip it and bring it all out, so right up top, just like the old one, you've got 7 freak inserts that go up top, and the last, if you have a full kit, the 8th insert will go down the bottom. So they're not held in just by sheer tension with the kind of the foam that's on the inside of this one. They have little kind of molded out spots for inserts, which is hard, so they're not flexible, but they're held on by these, they're held in by kind of like tension because they're pretty snug fit. as well as these just nice elastic straps. So it's really easy to slide them in and out if you just get them underneath the elastic straps. They fit perfectly. Obviously, they molded it for freak insert. So just like the old one, you've got 7 inserts up top, right there. And there's a nylon flap dividing the top half from the bottom half. So we open up the nylon flap right here in the bottom. If you got this as a full kit or something like that, the last insert, the 8th insert, would be down here where I have it inside this freak back. So the biggest difference is how many barrels this thing actually holds. So right here in the middle pocket, you'll see I have a 16-inch freak tip. So that's nice to know that the biggest pocket in here, which there's only maybe a ½ inch of room on either side, the biggest thing you can fit in here is an individual 16-inch tip. I guess the biggest thing you could fit in here, if you had a freak back with like a 10-inch tip, so the tip is only like yay big, or maybe like an 8-inch tip, so the tip's really, really tiny, you could probably fit it in this middle compartment. I don't have one to test that, I apologize. But a 16-inch freak tip is what's currently in here. You can see the white freak tip. It's off my shocker that's usually on the wall that I grabbed all the freak parts off of for this video. And there's barely any room on either side, so you can fit that. Right up top, you have a space that is slightly smaller than the middle. I have here a 14-inch freak tip, or All-American tip. I know it's an All-American tip, but freak tip's easier. I have a 14-inch tip right here, and again, same deal. There's barely a ½ inch on either side. So if you went to go put a 16-inch tip in it, like so, it actually wouldn't fit. So if you have a 16-inch tip, this middle pocket is the only space you're going to be able to get that into. And down here in the bottom, I have the A5 freak back, which again is longer than your standard autococker freak back. If I take it out, you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. Autococker freak back, A5 freak back. It's quite a bit taller. So if you're using this for an A5 threaded freak back, it will fit in this bottom pocket, or obviously you can fit a standard freak back in there quite nicely. Or if you just get this kit with the inserts, this is how it would come, with one insert just kind of floating in here at the bottom. So again, these are all held down in here. They're all molded to their perfect size for barrel parts. And they're all held in here by the elastic straps, which are pretty tensioned, so it's snug, it's not going to go anywhere. But they are kind of drawstringable, so you can, you can lift it up right at the end here to fit. You don't have to like try and kind of wedge and pull and kind of crank it over. You can just like slide the barrel down through the front one and all the way through the back without any problems. So if I just kind of push this back in, so this is the big difference here. How many barrels can you actually fit on the bottom of these new freak cases? In the old style one, as we mentioned before, I've got a full 14-inch freak barrel connected to itself, like so. Does not fit in here, so you will have to take your barrel apart. 14 inch is pretty much the universal. It's what I kind of expect everyone to have. But if you have a 16-inch barrel, obviously that wouldn't fit. But a full 14-inch barrel by itself, screwed into itself, will not fit in that middle pocket, which is the biggest. So you do have to take it apart, which is why I have your 14-inch tip here. If I take all these out and just do your standard freak back, I'm gonna screw it in just so you guys can see what exactly I'm talking about. Obviously, I think I've made it pretty clear, but just for internet purposes, because everybody questions everything on the internet, I will show you guys if I can get it out here. Come on. Elastic straps are pretty strong. So if I dig it out, here is a standard autococker freak back with a 14-inch freak tip. Does not fit. So you do have to take it apart. So right off the bat, you're using up 2 of the spaces. Obviously, I would put the extra insert if you have one, or I would keep one of the inserts if you have too many. If you have more than 7, which is what fits up top, I would keep one in the back, and you're gonna have to use that bottom pocket for your back, or you can use any of the pockets, but I would recommend using the bottom one because it's the smallest one and it takes up the least amount of space. And then the top one is the perfect size for a 14-inch freak tip. And then if you have an extra tip or an extra back or something like that, obviously you can use the middle part. So that is definitely the big difference between the two. Old style freak case, I've got a whole 14-inch assembled freak barrel, plus a whole extra freak barrel. Either a really, really small tip or an extra freak back down here in the bottom, and a 16-inch tip up here. So basically, 2 whole freak barrels, 1 freak barrel with an extra back or an extra tip. So you're minus 1 part of the freak system in the new case versus the old case. So instead of 2 whole barrels, you've got 1.5 barrels that are going to fit in here. Is that so much of a big deal? No, absolutely not. How many people are taking 2 whole actual freak barrels to the field? Usually, your standard setup is going to be exactly this. All of your inserts plus 1 that's actually in the back or whatever. 1 tip, 1 back. That's going to be your standard setup. So if that's all you're rocking, you're golden. You're good to go with the new freak case. Even if you want to take an extra tip, a 16-inch tip or 1 extra back, maybe it's a different thread so you can shoot a different gun or something like that, still no problem. If you're trying to take 2 whole freak barrels, kind of a problem, but not so common as far as I would kind of figure out. So anyway, there you go, guys. That is the new style freak case from GOG Paintball. Nice, soft case on the inside, hard case on the outside. Takes up probably half the space as the old freak case. However, you are minus 1 barrel part. I don't think that's big of a deal. I love the new freak case. I think it's really, really cool. I'll probably be buying one to replace my barrels are everywhere. To replace my old thing because my plexi windows are shattered per pretty much usual. Yeah, I think they did a really good job with it. I like this new style with the elastics and stuff like that. Everything fits. It's really compact. It doesn't take up a whole lot of extra space in my gear bag. And I am not frequently taking 2 whole freak barrels with me to the field, so I don't care about the smaller space down on the bottom. So there you go, guys. Your new freak cases. These freak cases, if you buy the empty freak case individually, I believe they retail for $30, I believe, maybe $29.95, I think. Don't quote me on that. That might be slightly off. And as always, the full Bore Master kit. So if you got the freak case with all of the inserts, no tips, no backs, nothing like that, I'm pretty sure is still $80, $79.95. Obviously, you can come in here to the store and check out the new case versus the old case. And you can go online to gogpaintball.com, go check it out. Obviously, they'll tell you all about it. It's their product. Obviously, these are available on our web store, pbworkhouse.com. So yeah, I would highly encourage you guys, if you have freak kits and your old freak case is either falling apart or you just want to take up less room in your bag, I would highly encourage you guys to check out the new style freak cases. Or if you don't have a freak kit, I would highly encourage you guys to check out getting a freak kit in the first place. So there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and learned something or found it's remotely helpful at all. If you did, I would really appreciate it if you hit that like button. It really helps out the channel a lot. And that's it for today's video, guys. So I will see you next time.